here to lead us on our final panel, discussing innovations in hemp technologies. As a freelance journalist, a huge YouTube star in Germany, and he's here for us right now. He's been at almost every single ICBC we've thrown. Let's hear it for Michael Knote.
Welcome to the last panel today, which is called Infusing Technology into the Emerging Hemp Industry, or Infusing Technology into the Emerging Hemp Industry. You can actually choose, but we decided to focus on on infusing technology, but on technology which should be infused into the new hemp industry. Because the cannabis industry is also infusing is also a thing of the cannabis industry, but that's not the topic we discuss today. Just that you know, it's not about infusing. It's about hemp. It's about growing hemp, and it's about using new technologies for a harvest that was within the European community forbidden until 1998. And there was no technological progress in the hemp industry or in growing hemp, in farming hemp for nearly 60 years because it was a forbidden plant. All the machines, all the technology the new industry started with was developed in the 1920s and in the 1930s. After that, there was a gap of 60 years. And all the farmers who started in the late 90s, when the EU regulated the hemp farming, had to use all these old technologies. And this is why we decided to put a light on how it is working today. Did this emerge, or do the people or do the farmers still have to work with technologies that are like 60 or 70 years old? For this reason, I have two panelists from Slovenia, which are very experienced in the hemp business. On the one side, I have Petra Marinko. She's well known here in Slovenia for her hemp business, for her hemp company called Nabi. She's producing cosmetics with natural ingredients, focusing on processing and focusing on clean products without any chemical ingredients. Is that right, Petra?
That's perfectly said. Thank you.
Thank you, Petra. And then we have Mark Bogdan. Together with his wife, he has a small hemp farm close to Maribor. And in the beginning, as he told me, of course, like most of the Slovenian hemp farmers, a few years, 6-7 years ago, everything was focused to produce CBD. But the hemp plant is not only CBD. CBD is only a very small part of the hemp plant, and the CBD market, meanwhile, that the Chinese control the CBD market, is hard to make money with. It's really hard to make money if you only produce CBD or CBD buds or CBD products, but the hemp plant exists of more than only CBD. And Mark is dedicating the hemp plants in 7 years and also looking for new growing and processing technologies. Is that right, Mark?
It's true.
So, you see, we're not talking about big agricultural factories when it comes to hemp farming. We're talking mostly about small farmers, small companies trying to get into a market which is regulated differently in every EU country. We all should know that. Despite we have a common EU law when it comes to hemp, a lot of countries have their own regulations when it comes to CBD, when it comes to buds, and when it comes to other derivatives of the hemp plant. And so My first question to you, Petra, when it comes to processing hemp. You produce hemp products since when we first met. You were already very experienced in 2017. So how do you achieve the pureness that's needed? And did anything change ever since you started when it comes to technology in the hemp processing?
A lot of things changed, some for the better and some for the worse. I would expose better ones because I'm a positive person. And regarding the processes that we use into cosmetics and I would say product making, because we don't do only cosmetics, we do also textiles and some other things. The main thing that we try to do is to maintain cleanliness of the product, and when we started this, it was very, very hard to do that. So we always wanted to be a bit different because we tried to find the things that, for example, with extracts, we had problems at first finding the solution for the bioavailability, which is a big problem with hemp, with extracts. So we try to do many technology processes that could get us higher bioavailability. We produced liposomes and stuff like that. So it was. We started very fast to implement the technologies into our processes. It's changed a lot because now people's minds are changing, I think, and from what I see now, a lot of, I would say, a lot of producers of any kind are thinking about implementing hemp into their businesses. So now we are dealing not only with bioavailability, but we are also thinking in terms of how to reduce the plastic waste, how to reduce microplastics coming into our products, how to reduce, I don't know, how to make it circular, sustainable, and so on. So in terms of packaging, for example, I have here is one of the latest, I would say. Thank you, guys, for bringing this. So this is packaging for our product. So we took a step back to make two steps forward with packaging. So one of them is the aluminum tube, which is 99% recyclable, and we know that. And we are using mycelium and hemp to make packaging, which is a very good thing. It's a light material. We can pack things into that. We can post it easily and so on. So in terms of your question that you ask, how is it changing? I think it's changing in many ways into better, because we can use a lot of things that, I don't know, 7-8 years ago we couldn't. So this is, I think it's a main reason to, yeah.
Yeah, thank you very much, Petra. So before I come to Mark, I have an additional question. Everybody is talking about THC, about CBD, about cannabis smoking, vaporizing, medical. Nobody is talking about sustainability of the hemp plant.
Well,
why is that so?
It's hard to say why. I come from architectural background, and I knew hemp before I knew CBD. So I knew it in terms of construction material and materials that it used to be used as instead of flax straws and so on. And I think that we are not seeing that much. It's not because it's too expensive, because it's not, you know. You can, for example, with hemp lime, you can use waste material. So it's just a term of connecting waste material with another material and building something. So I believe that maybe this is happening because of the ban that you mentioned. So there's still stigma around it also in construction. Don't know why, but it happens. And the other thing that is happening is probably because it's hard to break the building society standards in terms of getting into the new materials and so on. We are doing...
That sounds a little bit like corruption. A little
I
bit.
didn't want
Just
to.
wonder.
You said that. I didn't say that. But it might be that. Yeah, that also. We are starting a very interesting project also here in Slovenia with promoting these materials and trying to break the system in terms of this kind of things. So I think the future will bring also very nice things in hemp, other hemp technologies used also in construction. So,
or just in small details which you meet every day in life. Who of you likes paper straws?
yeah.
None. I think none of you likes paper straws. They just don't. They don't work. There were hemp straws. They worked very well in Germany, but the company went bankrupted because nobody bought those hemp straws. And they didn't find any investors. And if you go to Burger King or McDonald's or to all those ugly places, you still find those paper straws. Why is nobody producing hemp straws for McDonald's? I do not understand this, because hemp straws work. You know, you can really drink through them for 30 or 40 minutes, not only for 1 or 2 minutes. But that's another thing. And that's, I think, this is one thing what Petra mentioned, the people just only think in their own bubble. People do not leave their bubble, also when they try to find new markets. And now it's really time to come to Mark. I'm sorry it took a little bit longer. Mark, you're a producer, you're a hemp farmer. When I talked to first hemp farmers in 1998, either they had to harvest manually, or they had to use machines from the 30s, which were made for other kind of hemp than we have today. How do you harvest? Do you have help? Do you use machines?
No, we still made everything with the hands. Why? Because Slovenia is pretty much a small country. You cannot go everywhere with big machinery. And for my farm, it's that type how we live with the hemp, because we have the touch with that special plant, and I think we go on that way, that we made everything with the hands. We are pretty much small farm, and yeah, we enjoy in that business, and it's not hard to do that.
But still, as long as you harvest manually, what kind of technology do you have to use as a hemp farmer today?
Okay, yeah, absolutely. It's changed a lot of that in 8 years. So we are now high technology producers. So we have a lot of machineries. With that, can we fast to do something? I don't know, press for cold oil press or protein made or all that things. We have now new technology. It's absolutely better. It's lower cost of electricity and all the things. I think we are on the start. If we think that we know everything about hemp, how to do around hemp, I think we are now on the start. The people think that we know everything about hemp, what can we do? No, sorry, we are on the start. We don't know what can we do, everything from the hemp. And if politics and industry and everybody look in the same way, then we can do something in the way how or what can we do from the hemp. So I look on that way.
Let me ask you, if besides you producing CBD products, and can you use the rest of the hemp plant you produce economically? Is that possible to use the fiber, to use the seeds you produce economically, or is this more a side business that you do because you're convinced of the plant?
Yeah, I look on that way. We take also the roots from the soil because we need it, and it's absolutely economical. But we are too small for now. Slovenia is too small that we can produce the fibers because we don't have technology. But we use everything. We produce CBD on a little bit different way without alcohol, CO2. We press the dry material, and the result is dry material. And with that material, it's perfect food for animals. We use everything what we have from the hemp. We made some small parts of isolation material. With that small part of isolation material, we made isolation in our accommodation. It's a small accommodation, but we can use that. But last 2 years, we made a lot of time on hemp flowers fermentation. Nobody on the world don't fermentate the hemp flowers, and I want to make the alcohol from hemp flowers, and after 2 years I can say, yeah, we think that we know how to do that.
So that's also a new technology you developed yourself, kind? Can you say so?
If we don't have technology, we can do that, because we must know which sugar we needed, which temperature we needed, which fermentating culture we needed, how many that culture we needed, and we must to measure everything from that. And that's pretty much high technology for do that.
Let me ask you one other short question. I don't know if people from Slovenia know that, but despite we legalized cannabis in Germany, growing hemp is still regulated stricter than in the rest of the EU. We have extra strict hemp laws which will not change before next year. They announced to change them now, but CBD buds, for example, are not allowed to be sold in shops in Germany. This is one example. So in general, our hemp farmers have trouble with authorities since 25 years, and how is that here? Are you supported by authorities, or is it more that you have like a little bit trouble and it's a little bit tricky with the authorities?
We're falling down. When I start 8 years ago, we have in Slovenia 600 square hectares. Now we're falling under 150 hectares. And yeah, that's the situation where we are. I think that not changing in next 10 years because the industry don't see, the politics don't see the opportunity what we feel, not we see, because we know that that is one of the way for all the people. But I think that not changing in a couple of years.
Petra, we just heard it went down to 150 hectare hemp cultivation here in Slovenia, and this does not sound as if there isn't a broad market. What has to happen so that, especially from the building industry, hemp is accepted as an opportunity? So because 150 hectares for a country is actually nothing.
First, the change must happen to see the whole plant and the use of plant. So I think when people and industry and politicians will see that this is actually a very good way to make money also, and to do something, and it pays off economically too, I think that needs to happen to do that. Otherwise, I think we have so many innovative projects in Slovenia. The technology is building very, very fast. And with the help of European Union also, as we heard, Hopefully, we also get the funding to do projects like that, innovative projects. And I believe that it might happen that the offer of hemp industry, or I would say the production, will actually go up because the market will dictate that. So I can say that within construction business, building, construction industry and architects and everything is going to sustainability and circularity, and you cannot avoid hemp if you're talking sustainable and if you're talking circular, if you're talking non-toxic. So those are three things that are key points for every European funding. Whatever government is doing is only green, sustainable, and circular. So it's impossible to neglect a plant that gives so much in future, I think.
Okay, if I look on the world market, I can see that most hemp is grown in China and in non-EU countries. What role can the European community and the European Commission play when it comes to hemp cultivating? Can they support it with subvention or with money? Would that help? The question goes to both of you. Would that help you if you could, as a hemp farmer, be supported by a European community, because they support all kinds of farmers, but no hemp farmers, as far as I know?
Okay, my opinion on that question is that Europe is small village on that whole earth. And that small village, some companies said, what can we do and what can we not do? And that's the reason why hemp don't go up. But I think if we found solutions on small business, and we're growing and we're growing and we're growing to that point that all around see, okay, that's opportunity also for us, then we can change mindset. But that takes time.
Petra?
I think it will happen, and the European Union will be forced to do something about hemp. They cannot ignore it for a long time. It is happening in all industries, so we can see that. I've been into cosmetics, we can see that in textiles, we can see that in construction, so it's always something wrong with hemp for not being the plant that has a potential. And with its potential shown in every part of this, for instance, things that I just applied, I think it cannot be ignored.
Mark, what do you think, just for the audience to know, seed production in the EU, when it comes to hemp seeds, is very limited. There are only a very few companies producing seeds, and the farmers are not allowed to produce their own seeds. They have to buy the seeds from the companies, mostly located in France or in Italy. And they have to be compliant with the EU hemp catalog. And different from former times, the farmers do not control their own seeds. Would that help if farmers could, like in former times before hemp was banned, could control the seeds? Would that help? Or is there a sense behind regulating seeds on the EU level?
I think in Slovenia we have good seeds already 100 years ago. And that seeds can growing on our region, or they can give it the best material. And when we made some changes, I think is the best solution. Every country which have growing material, they know that grow on that land perfect, they must have that material. And I think we lose all our Slovenian seeds from the reason that we go on the way where go EU Union.
You know,
that's not good.
You know, this is a very rare treasure that you have the seeds from former times here, because this because hemp cultivation in European community was forbidden in 1981, I think, totally forbidden in 1981 or 83. There was and after this, all the hemp producers in the Western EU countries had to give away their seeds, and it's very rare to have seeds from before 1998, and you should keep that as a treasure, because that can be a game changer in the future.
Yeah, we will see when somebody see what we have it. I look on that way that every nation in European Union must have some material because that representative the nation, Slovenian nation or German nation and French nation, and they have perfect material for France. If we have perfect material from Slovenian, then I think we can say that's our material, that's our growing material, that's our Slovenian people, and that's, I don't know, German people, and so we represent our nation, our history, and we have that. I don't know what can we change that, but we will see what's happening. I think new age generation can change that, and they look a little bit different, and I hope that they change it.
Thank you, Mark.
Can I just add something?
Please.
I would say the same comes to the construction. So it would be very nice if we would take a step back and learn from our ancestors how they did it, also with hemp and natural materials, and infuse it with technology that we know now. So we did that with cosmetic products, so we can have botanicals that are anciently known to be very good, but they are implemented in our products with a new technology. We can do this in agriculture, and we can do this in construction business. So it's pretty much the same, but we should always look back when we are looking forward. So.
And just to give the audience an example, hemp was grown before World War II. It was grown, only male plants were used for fiber, and only female plants were used for seeds. The male plants were harvested 4 weeks before the female plants, and anybody growing north of Paris did not produce seeds. All those knowledge is gone because the European community does not allow male and female seeds. The seeds are all hermaphrodite, and so a farmer cannot draw a selection like he did 60 years before if he wants to concentrate on fiber or if he wants to concentrate on seed production. This is all gone within the so-called EU hemp reform in 1998. And my last question to you is, we're talking about new technology, and we mentioned a few examples for new technology in the hemp industry. But in how far would you agree that we first have to implement a new politic before we can talk about new technologies and big construction? Production, sorry, a big range construction. So how far would you agree?
I would agree very much, because if I go into whichever part of the business that I've known now, I would say, for example, I would take construction, for example. Politics is doing a lot of times, sometimes it's hard to make a breakthrough with technology or a step back because of the regulation. So we have that in cosmetics. It's the same in every aspect of industry, and with the regulations, it's the same. So first, that part needs to be settled, but it needs to be settled with people that know a lot about that. So I hope in Slovenia the regulation that it's going to change is getting all the aspects of the plant, not only the medical aspect of the plant, and they will think about also in a regulative way how to use the stems, the leaves, whatever is left from the plant that they are using for one medical, for example, production.
Thank you, Petra. When we entered, when we talked before the panel, I told you that all the medical producers, which are a lot meanwhile in Europe, South Africa, Canada, they throw away all the stems. And even that is ridiculous because we have so many medical producers now, and you could use that as biomass, and they have to pay for the destruction, and this is one of the regulations I do not understand, actually.
And one's trash can be, sorry?
Yeah.
One's trash can be the other one's treasure. So if we would switch in mindset, this kind of thinking, we could get actually free construction material, and people would pay to get it as a, the people are now paying it as a waste, as you said. So it's a free material. You just need to collect it. You just need to process it, which is not even that hard. You can use the same process machine that is used for wood to make the shreds from wood. So it's not complicated process.
So
it's just the mindset that needs to be changed.
Exactly, and cannabis regulation is not only a question of smoking weed, having medical weed. It's also a question of sustainability, and we should not leave, or we should not separate the cannabis plant into the medical, recreational cannabis plant and the hemp plant, which does not make high, because it's all the same plant, and. In how far are you afraid, Mark, when your government is regulating the whole cannabis thing, which they announced now, that the hemp fiber thing falls a little bit out of the focus? So, because we saw that a reform is needed, so do you think it will be still in focus, or that will fall a little bit apart when cannabis is regulated?
I think in Slovenia we don't have focus. What can we do with the fiber, or what can we not to do, and that's the problem. I know that we must to go on that way. From construction material, building material, we can do everything what we want to do. It's only I can make something, some prototypes, somebody made another prototype, and then when we have something to show you, then I think also the industry can see, okay, a little bit big picture, what can we do, everything. But I hope that change it with everything, because in that time we don't have industry in Slovenia, I think nothing. We are on under zero. Not zero, under zero. We are in the production of hemp. Okay, CBD is one of the part, we have it, but everything else is under zero.
And from my experience, I can say you something. When the government legalizes medical cannabis, all the companies from other countries will come in and support and sponsor the medical cannabis market. They build it up for you. When it comes to recreational cannabis, same thing happens. Companies from the countries where cannabis is already legal come to your country and show you how to and want to have a piece of the cake. But do not expect that will happen when it comes to hemp. No company will come and ask you, oh, hemp is growing, hemp is legal, let's invest in your hemp. This is something you have to really get cleared domestically. There will be no sponsors to push your hemp industry. But the hemp industry is a very, very important part of cannabis regulation in my eyes. And tell your politics not to forget it, please. And I think we are close to the end, and that was my final words, and I think we are open for questions now, if there are any.
Let's hear it again for the panelists. Are there any questions? Well, all right. We consider you all perfectly well educated then. Thank you all very much. One more time for the panel. That concludes today's Cannabis Science and Technology B2B Forum here at the ICBC, the International Cannabis Business Conference in Lake Bled, Slovenia. We will see you at the party tonight at 8 o'clock. Wear your badge, dress kind of warm, right over there at the